Hello everybody and welcome to English at Ease. My name is Adam. Today we are going to be learning English with this vlog. So come with me as we live a day in my life and learn some English along the way. All right, everybody. So we just finished work for the day. I've been working from home today and I just finished all of my work. And now I have some coffee right here that I am enjoying. Right now it is the afternoon. It is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I always like to have some coffee in the morning to get me energized for the day. But then around this time, I usually get a little bit tired again. So to get myself more energized, I am gonna have some coffee. I made this coffee. It's got some hazelnut in it and some chocolate milk as well. And last time I made it was really delicious. So let's see. Very good. Definitely something that I needed for the day. In just a minute now, we are going to be going to my parents' house, which I'm very excited about because it's always fun to go there and visit them. Since I don't live with them anymore, it's always good to go back because the house that they live in is the house that I lived in my entire life before I moved out. It's my childhood home. It's the house I grew up in. So it's always nice to go back there. And also so that they can see Allison, my daughter, because she's growing very quickly and they want to be able to see her as often as they can. Come with me as we go to my parents' house and explore around a little bit more on this day. All right, everybody, we have now arrived at my parents' house. And it's very nice to come here outside and just relax a little bit. I really like to do this when I come to my parents' house because my parents have a very nice backyard that I want to show you guys. So right now we are in this seating area right here. There's all these nice seats that you can sit on. There's also a nice fireplace right here that you can use, but right now we are not using. And you can have fire come out of this fireplace here. Right now I am under what we call a gazebo. This is a gazebo. And my dad and I built this gazebo. I remember when we built this together a while ago. And this is pretty nice because it keeps you in the shade so that the sun doesn't hit you when you are sitting down in this area right here. We also strung some lights. We strung some lights around this gazebo so that at night you can come out here and you can enjoy this area even when it's very dark outside. My parents live on a very high area. Their house is very high on top of a hill. So we are at a very high area so we can see a lot in the distance. You can see a lot of different houses below us. And if you look way in the distance, you can see that there are some mountains in the distance as well. And we have a very nice view of those mountains. So it is very, very relaxing to come out here and to enjoy this view. There's also some really cool flowers right here that have a very, very nice color. You can see these flowers are almost like a purple or a pink color, and they are very nice as well. And these flowers are planted across this entire area in my parents' backyard. Now, we also have some cool barrels right here. These are called barrels, and these are around my parents' backyard in lots of different places, and they are a nice decoration. Interesting story about these barrels is that when my wife and I got married, my parents bought these barrels to use in our wedding celebration. They were used to decorate our wedding celebration. And after that point, they decided to leave the barrels in their backyard. Now, from this view, we also get a really nice look at the countryside. You can see this is what we would call the countryside over here because it is pretty far away from the main city. And you can see there are some houses out here that are very nice. These are very expensive houses that people purchase on the countryside to be far away from the city. All right, we've moved to a new area in the backyard. There's a lot of different spots to sit down and relax in my parents' backyard. Right now I'm drinking a soda that my parents had, and this is an interesting soda because this is one of these healthier sodas because it is 0 grams of sugar. So this soda is sweetened with a sweetener that does not have any added sugar, and this is very good and refreshing on a day like this. But I want to show you guys the area that I'm in right now. This is another one of the very cool areas that you can see in my parents' backyard. You can see that we are under another gazebo right now. And this gazebo was built by my dad and I as well. We built both of the gazebos in this backyard. And this was a while ago, but now it is here for us to enjoy. And again, this one provides us some very good shade if you're sitting in this area. Now, the gazebo only comes to about right here. And in order to make sure the rest of this area was shaded and that no sun would come through, my parents also put up this tarp right here. This is called a tarp. A tarp is good to block out the sun so that you have a little bit more shade. Like the other area that I showed you guys, this area is also lit up with lights. We have some lights hanging from this gazebo. And this area also has some other lights that are very cool at night when you come out here. You can see these strings right here. These are some very thin strings, and these strings are all lights. So when you come out here at night and you turn the lights on, there's a very cool effect where this entire wall, this entire wooden wall area basically will light up. And this is very nice when you're hanging out here during this time. If you come with me over here, you will see some other decorations on our fence right here. This is our fence, and you will see some decorations on our fence here. These are something that I remember from my childhood. I'm pretty sure we've had these for probably at least maybe 10 years. I would say we've had these for about 10 years. You can see if you come a little closer that they are very rusted. These are metal and they are starting to rust a lot. And that's just because we've had them for so long. Now, my parents have a dog as well. So whenever people are hanging out in a certain area, their dog always wants to come and sit there with everybody else. So we have a dog bed. This is the dog bed right here that is specifically for this area outside. So whenever we come out here, the dog likes to come out here as well and lay down on his bed. All right, Allison has joined me outside here as well. You can see right now she is sucking on her hands, which is one of her favorite activities to do. She really likes to suck on her hand right now. And she really likes being outside here as well. She always calms down a little bit when she's outdoors. So if she's crying, then this is a good place to bring her to calm her down a little bit. All right, my parents like to grow a lot of different things in their backyard. So there's a lot of different vegetables and fruits that you can pick here. You'll see behind me right now that there is a pomegranate tree. Pomegranates are one of our favorite fruits to eat. They're a little bit sour. The way you eat a pomegranate is you break it open and there's seeds inside and you eat the seeds of the pomegranate. And the seeds are very sour, but they're very good. Right now, you can see that these pomegranates are not ripe right now. It's not the right season for pomegranates. All right, we have some oranges here as well. These are not technically in my parents' backyard. They are in my parents' neighbor's backyard, and she grows these oranges. But my parents and their neighbor are very close. They're friends, so she lets them pick these oranges. So we're allowed to pick these oranges, and these are very good as well. Unlike most oranges that you will find in a store, these do have seeds in them, which some people don't like, but I personally don't mind. And these are very good oranges. All right, I have my orange, so I'm going to peel. I'm going to peel my orange real quick. And this is the skin of the orange that I'm peeling right now. We call this the skin of the orange, kind of like we would refer to somebody's skin on their body. This is the skin of the orange. All right, I've peeled the skin off my orange, and now I'm gonna peel the orange slice from the rest of the orange. This is what we call an orange slice right here. And it is very good. It is very juicy and very sweet as well. All right, so my parents also have a lot of different types of cactus right here. This is what we call cactus. This is one type of cactus right here. And then you will see another type of cactus right there. And this one is a little bit more round. And then you will see a third type of cactus right there as well. All of these cactus look very different. Now, usually when we think about cactus, we think of cactus as being very prickly. So if you touch them, it will basically hurt you. They're very sharp. But some of these cactus are not very sharp or very prickly. They don't have little spikes that will hurt you if you touch them. For example, this one right here does not have that. This one as well does not have those, but you can see this one right here has a bunch of little spikes that are very prickly. So I don't want to touch these, or it will hurt my finger a little bit and they will probably stick in my finger. And this is a watering can right here. Since my parents have a lot of plants in their backyard, they need this watering can to be able to water the plants. So whenever they're gonna water a plant, what they will do is they will fill this watering can with water. You can see that there is a hose. There is a hose that is inside of the watering can, and the hose is wrapped up in this pot right here. The hose is wrapped up right here, and it is leading into the watering can so they can fill up this watering can with the hose. And after they've filled up the watering can, they can go up to all of their plants and they can pour the water on the plants to make sure these plants are well watered and will be able to grow. And this is a birdhouse right here. This is another thing that I remember from my childhood, because I believe we made this birdhouse together as a family a long time ago. You can see it is really worn. It's pretty worn down. The paint has chipped here. You can see the paint has chipped. So a lot of these areas are not fully painted, although it used to be fully red. It was painted all red. But it has kind of worn down now. This was the area where we would put the bird seed, and we would fill it up with bird seed, and birds would come and they would perch themselves here. They would perch themselves here, and they would start to eat the bird seed. And here is our grill that we use to cook meat. You can cook meat on this grill. A lot of times my dad will cook burgers on this grill whenever the family is together and we're gonna eat some burgers, and they come out really good when he cooks burgers on this grill. All right, so something really crazy happened recently. My dad found a lizard and brought this lizard into the house. My dad found this lizard in our driveway in front of the house. And you can see this lizard right here. It looks very interesting. This type of lizard is what we call a bearded dragon. And the strange thing about my dad finding a bearded dragon here is that we live in the United States. We live in California, and bearded dragons are native to Australia, to the continent of Australia. That's the only place where they are native to. That's the only place where they are naturally found. So there are a lot of people who have bearded dragons as pets here in the United States. That is very common. So to find a bearded dragon like this means that somebody must have lost their bearded dragon. Now, it is not very safe for a bearded dragon to be in this area outside because we don't have the right weather for bearded dragons. They need to live in Australia. So my dad brought the bearded dragon into our house so that we could take care of it, because otherwise it probably would have died outside. All right, so we have this container right here made of plastic where we are keeping this bearded dragon right now. So I'm going to put her back into her container. You can see she's very, very social and very friendly, because right now I have her in my hand and I'm putting my hand down at the bottom of this container and she is not getting off my hand. She doesn't want to leave my hand. So that's kind of sweet, but I'm going to try to put her back into her container right here. There we go. So you can see she has this little area to hang out right now, and some pieces of wood right here so that she can sleep down here, and some rocks here as well for her to climb on. We also have a light right here that provides light, but it also provides heat as well, so that her area right here can simulate how the weather would be in Australia, so that she is able to be safe here, because she would not be safe if she was outside. All right, so before we eat dinner tonight, we decided to all go on a walk that goes around our entire neighborhood. All right, this is a lamppost right here, and you can see on top of this lamppost there's a bird perched on top of the lamppost, just hanging out, enjoying the weather. Now, you know you are in Southern California when you see palm trees everywhere. Palm trees are the most famous type of tree that you see in California. You can see people have them in their front yards. There's these big palm trees in people's front yards. And these are pretty cool trees because they grow super, super tall. Personally, they're not my favorite trees to look at though. I don't think they look super nice, but they are very famous here in California. Now, there's an easy part and there's a hard part to this walk. Right now, we are on the easy part. You can see that we are going downhill right now. As I mentioned earlier, my parents live on a very tall hill. So when we go on this walk, we are moving downhill. But a little bit later, we are going to have to climb all the way back uphill, and that is the difficult part. Now, when you're walking through a neighborhood in the United States, you will see a ton of flag poles. You can see this is a flagpole right here, and you'll see a lot of American flags flying on top of these flagpoles. Look, we have one flag over here to the right side of me, and to the left side of me, another flag. All right, these are called street signs right here. This is how we distinguish between the different streets and figure out what street we are on. So you can see this sign right here is saying that this whole street down here is called Vineyard Avenue. You can see it on the sign up there. Okay, so all of this right here is what we call a hedge. A hedge is basically a bunch of trees or bushes that are lined up to form a wall. So you can see this almost looks like a very, very long wall all the way down there, made up of trees. And this is the difficult part. You can see that this whole area is now uphill because we need to climb back up to the top of the hill where my parents live. And this is where things get very difficult. And we are going to have a good workout ahead of us because we have to scale up this entire hill. All right, you can see on top of this lamppost right here, there's another bird that is perched, but this bird right here is a hawk. Hawks are one of the coolest birds out there. Hawks are very, very effective predators, and they are known for being able to fly very fast to be able to catch their prey. We have a lot of hawks in this area, and it's always very exciting to see a hawk when you are walking around. Check it out, we're right below this hawk right here. You can see his beak and everything. He's looking right down at us. Probably right now what he's doing is he's up in a high area so he can look around and see if he can find any little animals that he can attack and kill and eat. Now, when you're walking around a neighborhood like this and you see the curb is painted red, this is called the curb right here. And when the curb is painted red, that means you cannot park your car in this area unless you are a firefighter. Only firefighters can park their cars in this area. And they do this so that there's always room for firefighters to park in case there is a house on fire or somebody who needs help. They want to make sure there's always going to be a spot where a fire truck can park. All right, we've come back to our house and I wanted to show you guys our basketball hoop right here. In the United States, it's really common for people to have these basketball hoops outside of their houses so that if they ever want to play a game of basketball, which is a very famous sport here in the United States, then you could play it right outside of your house right here. You can see this is a basketball. This one right here is very old and it's very deflated. You can see if I press on it, that it's very deflated. There's not a lot of air in this ball, so it needs to be pumped up so that it will be inflated enough so that I can dribble it. Because with a basketball, you're supposed to be able to dribble it on the ground, but you can see I can't dribble that one very well. But let's see if I still have any basketball skills. Apparently I do not. All right, here is tonight's dinner. You can see we have a few different things here. These are all leftovers from my birthday a few days ago. This was the meal that we had on my birthday. So these are all leftovers that were not eaten. You can see we have some Brussels sprouts right here with some other things right here, little bits of bacon. These are little pieces of bacon right here. We have some chicken as well, some salad right here. This is some lettuce, and some mashed potatoes, which are very, very popular here in the United States. This is probably the most popular way to prepare potatoes in the United States. And then I also have a soda right here. This one is orange creamsicle flavor, which apparently is supposed to taste like a orange ice cream. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video learning English on this day in the life with me. For more videos like this one where we learn English by listening to the language spoken in a slow, simple, and clear way, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.